Thomas and Friends All Engines Go is already switching to a new network. It started out on Cartoon Network, now it's going to be on Netflix, and for its third season, it just had its first of two 13-episode installments come out, that being on March 7th. The second is coming out on September 19th, and we're also going to get Thomas and Friends The Christmas Letter Express debuting late 2024. It says it's included in the batch, but I don't know if that's getting released. September is very early to come out for a Christmas special, so I would hope it comes out around US Thanksgiving or later, but we'll see. I'm very worried though, if you're a fan of All Engines Go, about what the future looks like. Like, I want to make some comparisons to other franchises. Like Bob the Builder, when it got revived back in 2015, they did a 52-episode season, another 52-episode season, then a 26-episode season, and that's it. And that, ironically, is right where we're at with All Engines Go. This third season is 26 episodes. Is that what's going to be what happens? I mean, I could possibly see it. A lot of these children's shows, they just get, 3-4 episodes, have a ton of these that they can just replay like crazy. I mean, if you want to check out the Bob the Builder YouTube channel, I see they upload episodes from that season all the time. I could easily see that happening with All Engines Go as well. So let's look, now that All Engines Go is on Netflix and no longer Cartoon Network, some of the Netflix shows over the years. Like, first I think of Care Bears and Cousins. That was on for 2 seasons, 6 episodes each. Then they canceled it. Then Degrassi was on for 14 seasons on Teen Nick. They took it over on Netflix, did 4 10-episode seasons, and that's it. But then I also look, on the positive end, Netflix just signed a deal with WWE to bring Monday Night Raw over for at least 10 years. They'll be paying $5 billion at least in that deal, $500 million a year just to have WWE. But the difference is it's definitely to a wider audience, and it's live television, or I guess streaming now, like something they've never had before, quite like WWE. So they're obviously making an exception to their rule. But it really does worry me seeing All Engines Go, just because it's like, I can't imagine All Engines Go last long. Right now it says 1 season. Netflix originals don't last that long, and this is going to be no different. I think best case it does end up like Degrassi and there's 4 seasons on Netflix, but again, that's best case. So I think a good comparison for this is Degrassi. A couple years ago now, Degrassi was bought over by HBO. They put it on their Max streaming service. You can now watch the first 14 seasons of Degrassi on Max, and they were going to start a new series of Degrassi, and then they canceled it. Now, I don't necessarily think All Engines Go is going to get canceled. I mean, for one, it hasn't been. They just released the first half of their 3rd season, but I can see having a short lifespan with like the hopes of, hey, maybe we can acquire some or all of the first 24 seasons of Thomas. Any combination I'm sure they'd be fine with. Like Survivor, they usually keep 2 seasons of Survivor on at all times and just constantly rotate them. Maybe they do something like that. I don't know, but I feel like ultimately Netflix is probably hoping, hey, maybe we can acquire the rights to Thomas, and then after we're done with All Engines Go, hey, now people can just watch regular Thomas that, generally I think a lot of, at least older fans obviously like. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not like I'm an All Engines Go fan. I really haven't watched any episodes. I think I've watched like 1 or 2 just to see what's up. But like, as a franchise, it's important to have Thomas still going around. Like, the Wooden Railway line's not doing too hot right now. It's been a long time since we've had anything new. But we wouldn't have even got this line if there was no All Engines Go. These characters obviously have faces pertaining to the All Engines Go show. So if that's gone, I do think that Thomas will get a new series, but I'm worried that it's going to end up like Care Bears, where it's like every few years they get a new, different style of show, and I think that'd just be terrible for Thomas, especially knowing Mattel ultimately wants to do a movie. I think if and when All Engines Go gets canceled, Mattel really needs to take a minute to kind of decide what's our next step. I honestly think it'd be smart for Mattel to kind of look back and be like, maybe we need to do something different. I kind of want to go into a video in the future, like how I would reboot Thomas. But I think one of the things that first and foremost, like, you kind of got to decide your target audience. They already had a younger audience with their original run of the show, and then All Engines Go is targeted even younger. I think you really got to look at the competition. Paw Patrol used to be the big one. Now it's like Bluey. It's like, do you want to compete with that, or maybe start your own circle? Because the style of All Engines Go is very much competing with those shows, while what Thomas and Friends used to be was a very unique, niche audience that it had. And I kind of would like to see Thomas get back to that. I think it's very possible, but as long as it's All Engines Go, that's just no way it's going to happen. And obviously the people at Mattel have a better idea of when we're going to get a Thomas and Friends movie. I know there's Bob the Builder coming out relatively soon as a movie. So you probably want to keep that in mind too. Like if you're going to target, adults for this, maybe you try to make Thomas and Friends at least what the first 24 seasons is, like that target range, maybe a little bit higher too, a little bit older, because ultimately you want to have that movie be, if it can be anything like Barbie was, you want to bring new faces to the show and have them keep watching because they like the movie so much. And I don't think if you go into that movie with All Engines Go, I think it's just going to be completely different worlds. I think that's an idea set up for failure. So in some ways, I do hope that they move on from All Engines Go, but I hope when they do, it's not like, oh shoot, what do we do next? I hope Mattel has a plan already for what next is. So yeah, All Engines Go no longer on Cartoon Network, now will be on Netflix, and we have a Christmas special coming later this year. Like, that is good that Thomas and Friends is still running as a franchise, but man, I just hope that there's something bigger and better planned, because moving it to Netflix just doesn't stream like long-term success. I'd be working up that next show that goes really well with their next movie that you can probably put either back on Cartoon Network or PBS or just anything other than Netflix, because I don't trust Netflix to have a longevity with All Engines Go. So that's my thoughts. What are yours? I'd love to hear them in the comment section below. Thank you all for watching. This is Percy number 6. Have a great day.